బేస్డ్ ఆన్ వాళ్ళ ప్రైస్ బట్టి మనం అన్ని డివైస్
కాస్ట్
కాస్ట్ సో ఎందుకంటే ఇది చూడండి ఇలా స్మూత్గా అన్నా సరే అది అవుతుంది, బట్ అది అలా అవుతుంది.
ఇంకా దేనికంటే
surgical disposables, needles, syringes, sutures, gloves, media petri plates, or single-use disposable surgicals, or urine containers, baby feed bottle, blood bags, anything without electronic part. Electronic part, when it is exposed to the gamma radiation, they get damaged. So all the classes of medical device, all the class A, B, C can be sterilized. Okay. And coming to the agro products, we can stop the sprouting on onion, potato, ginger, garlic. We can delay the ripening of mangoes. We can disinfect the pulses, cereals, oil seeds, dry fruits. We can kill pathogens in aquaculture, meat products, spices, seasonings, coffee tea products. And we can irradiate cosmetics, Ayurvedic herbs, pet feed, packing material, everything. There are so many advantages using gammas. And as you know, there are so many sterilization methods also. Like hot water is one of the methods. So we can kill the microorganisms by applying some heat on it. Even microwave, when we keep the food so that it is safe to consume by applying heat. Okay. And we use ethylene oxide chemical. We use chemical in a gaseous form to kill the microorganisms. We use high kinetic energy electrons. We use X-rays, UV rays. Dentist will use, there is a small UV chamber where he keeps the tools because he uses the tools on patient. So those microorganisms which are present inside the mouth of one patient should not be transferred to the another patient. So he has to clean the tools first. So for that he will use some UV chamber, hot water, all these things. Okay. So these are all the methods of sterilization. Out of all these methods, gamma ray sterilization is the most effective because of its high penetration energy. The energy of the gamma rays is very much high. It can penetrate easily through any body, even through the walls. It can break the bond between the molecules. It can remove the electrons from the orbit of atom and make it into ions. So as you know, ions are readily available to react with some other ion to make a bond. Okay. So that's the reason these X-rays and gamma rays are called ionizing radiations because they ionize the medium with which it will interact. They will take out the electrons with which it will interact. Okay. So that's the thing. These are very dangerous. So for this, to emit these gamma rays, we need some radioactive isotopes. Radium, uranium, thorium, polonium. All these are all radioactive isotopes which are naturally available on the Earth. Okay. But here we are using cobalt-60 radioactive isotope. Cobalt-60 is artificially made in the nuclear reactor, nuclear power plant. Okay. Cobalt-59 is the metal which is non-radioisotope, which is a metal. It is a stable nucleus. So it is converted into the cobalt-60 in nuclear reactors by bombarding one extra neutron into the nucleus of the cobalt-59, and we are making it to the unstable nucleus. So we are converting cobalt-59 into 60 so that it will become unstable. So when it gets unstable, it will try to get stability by using that extra neutron which is bombarded into its nucleus. So while getting that stability, by using that extra neutron, it will emit some energy. That energy is gamma rays. Okay, we are using that energy. So how we can kill the microorganisms using this energy? So any microorganism, bacteria, virus, fungus, pathogens, spores, whatever, or we the human beings, made up of cells, the building blocks of cells, and the cells contain nucleus, and inside the nucleus we have DNA. It is a sequential code, double helical structure. DNA is a double helical structure. It carries the genetic information, it carries the routine functions of the cell, whatever protein synthesis, all these things. So if we break the single strand of DNA, it can repair on its own. That it has that mechanism, cell has that mechanism to repair the damages. But if the double strand is broken, whether it is a base molecule or interchain molecule, whatever, if it is broken, the double strand, it can't do anything. It can't repair. If the broken part gets attached at some other area, it is just some sequential code. Now it is attached at some other area, that broken part. So its sequence will change. So its function will change. So it will convert into a mutation, the cancer cell. Or if the severity of damage is very much high, then it can't do anything. Entire cell will collapse, the microorganism will die. Okay. So by disturbing the structure of DNA, we are killing the microorganisms. To disturb the structure, to break the structure, we need certain energy. That energy we are getting from gamma rays. So we are using the energy of the gamma rays to break the structure of DNA so that we can kill the microorganism. So we can sterilize the products. Okay. So coming here, this is the top of our facility. This is the side view. These are all the walls made up of high-grade concrete having different width in meters. You can see 1.7 meters here and 0.5 meters, 2.2 meters, 2 meters. Even the roof thickness is also 2.2 meters. For our domestic household purpose, hardly we maintain 4 to 5 inches of slab roof thickness. But we are maintaining in meters. I told you, not this one, that one. This is the plan of that facility. Okay. So if you do not maintain this much of weight, the rays can easily penetrate through the walls. We are sitting in the control room, operating entire plant. So there is a radioactive material inside. So the rays can easily pass through the walls. We will expose to the radiation. We are also made up of cells. We have DNA. So the biological effects will be there. To avoid that, we must maintain this much of weight. Okay, these are the shielding walls. These walls will protect us from the radiation. And there is this area is called radiation cell, where the entire process will go on. And this is the water pool at the center, which is having a depth of 7.5 meters from this floor level. It is 7.5 meters deep inside, and it is fully filled with demineralized water. Okay, and this frame is called source frame. Source means cobalt 60 here, radioactive metal. This is the frame made up of stainless steel, and in this frame we have stainless steel halo pencils. Inside this stainless steel halo pencils, we have cobalt 60 pellet that will emit gamma rays in all the directions. And the stainless steel halo pencils are sealed at both ends, top and bottom. So whatever the product we are exposing to, that is safe, because this cobalt 60 is just sealed in this pencil. So this matter will never come out. These atoms, molecules, whatever, particles will never come out. Only the energy will come out through the walls, okay, because it is safe. So whatever the product, whether it is a medical or agro, it is safe because this matter will never fall on the product will never convert into a radioactivity. It will just expose to the energy so that microorganisms can be killed. Okay, the product is safe. There is no any residual like remaining sterilization method. If you take any ethylene oxide sterilization, there may be a residual of ethylene oxide on the product. That chemical things will be there on the product, that is the residue, but here there is no any such thing will happen. And it is because of its high penetration energy, there is no need of any special type of packaging. Any LDPE bag with airtight packaging is sufficient. No need of any special type of packaging, and any density of material is will be used to sterilize, because the energy is that much high, it can penetrate whatever the density is. Okay. So the next thing, when the plant is in an ideal condition, we keep this frame at the bottom of this water pool. The height of the water above this frame is sufficient. It will not allow the rays to this surface. So even if you stand on this floor, we will not expose to any radiation at all. No need to wear any aprons, all these things. Okay. So when we are walking outside, these walls will protecting us. These are the shielding walls. But if you go inside for any maintenance purpose, so this water will act as shielding. This is the shielding medium. Once we keep this frame at the bottom, we are safe. We can go inside. Okay. But if you want to sterilize some product, if there is any product for sterilization, we have to take this frame out of the water. We have to hold it like this in the air. So this is the exact location of this frame after taking it out. So if we see it from the top, if we observe it from the top, it will look like this. Okay. So this is the conveyor, path of the conveyor. You can see. Okay. So it is like just around it, like it's a zigzag path. There are two passes in front, two passes behind. Around this source frame. Both we have two tracks, lower track and upper track. From the lower track, we let the material go in for sterilization. From the upper track, the material comes out after sterilization. Okay, both are one upon the other. So after raising this up, if we consider this as the source frame, okay, we have a conveyor in front of this frame and behind this frame. So the material just take a path like this around this source frame, get exposed to the radiation at each and every point around it. And at the end of this lower track, the material go to the upper track using one lift. Again, if in the upper track, it will take a reverse direction around the source frame in the same way, get exposed to the radiation again, and it will come out. Okay. So here the dosage depends on the product, its density. If it is a medical product, we have to give so much of dose because we have to completely kill the microorganisms. If it is an agro product, those are consumable things. We have to eat those products. We should not disturb the biological things which are present inside, like macronutrients, micronutrients, all these things. So for that we will give very less dose when we compare with the medical things. Okay. So this depends on the purpose of the product and its density. So this is well designed with all the safety systems. We will not expose to any radiation at all. This is designed for 3 million curie of radioactivity, and we got permission to load 10% of the total design capacity, that means 3 lakh curie from AERB, which is regulating body. Okay, and we have a DM plant behind. The use of DM plant is to demineralize the water, because if we use raw water contains so many salts that will leads to the corrosion of the material or formation of algae or scaling on the surface of the material. To avoid all these things, we maintain the conductivity and pH all the time. We just fill it with the DM water, so that the water is very clear, the visibility is very clear, and there are no any salts. Okay. So we have a ventilation system. The use of ventilation system is to evacuate the noxious gases that are produced, because I told you these rays can break the bond between the molecules. These rays can remove the electrons from the orbit of that. So when we range the source from Earth, it is surrounded by oxygen, nitrogen, some other mixture gases. The bond between these gas molecules gets broken. They form into ions. The oxygen ions combine to form O2. Nitrogen and oxygen combine to form nitrogen monoxide, nitrogen monoxide. We should not inhale such type of gases. So we have to evacuate. For that reason, we are using ventilation system.
We have in Andhra University nanotechnologies. Nanotechnologies. So they are also having some this kind of equipment. Around that is around cost 50 lakhs. One more NASCO mark is there, opposite NASCO. This kind of similar equipments. I am in Andhra University student only. Also in instrumentation. Sridevi madam, my guy, and Rajesh Kumar is present. Naidu sir, I know. Instrumentation signals capture చేస్తాం. How it is behaving and frequency 30 megas to 300 megas bandwidth. సో అది వచ్చేసి ఎలా వేరియేషన్ అవుతుంది, అప్పర్ లిమిట్ ఉందా, లోయర్ లిమిట్ ఉందా. అప్పర్ లిమిట్ అబోవ్ ఉంటే అగైన్ దే నీడ్ టు కండక్టింగ్ ఏ అది రీడిజైన్ అనమాట. ఇది వన్ ఆఫ్ ద టెస్ట్ అంటే మీ టీవీలో పెద్దది, ఇది జస్ట్ షీల్డెడ్ అనమాట. అంటే బిఫోర్ గోయింగ్ టు ద ఫైనల్ కంప్లైంట్ జస్ట్ దే నీడ్ టు కండక్ట్ ఏ ప్రీ కంప్లైన్స్ అలా. ఇది మేడం జస్ట్ జస్ట్ షీల్డింగ్ అనమాట. ఇది ఏమవుతుందంటే నార్మల్ షీల్డింగ్. మీరు అక్కడ టీయూలో చూస్తే సెమీ అనలిటికల్ చాంబర్స్ అంటే వెరీ హై సొఫిస్టికేటెడ్. దే ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ ద అబ్జర్వర్స్ అరౌండ్ హైట్ ఆల్సో 18 feet height, 18 feet height, fully totally into controlled by earthing support and along with the observers. Small micro dB kuda they will capture.
And there are so many people yearning to how shows that the program is success, and kudos to Professor James and his team for putting in their efforts. It's not a joke to have sustained interest of the participants for 2 weeks, so I really appreciate. And the fact, like the first participant said, they were not aware of the background, and yet they are very comfortable now, shows that all of you put in your hard work. So a very warm namaskar from Delhi. I'm still jet lagged, so if I have some fumbling, please permit me to go ahead with that. New York to India is like a very hectic journey, and thanks Professor James for permitting me to come online. So I'll just share with you, because your topic was totally focused on Ambedkar's great vision of inclusiveness. I want to bring to your knowledge, which has been an underlying thought in all of us who are sitting in Delhi doing Brahmananji, that Christian India should unite and should not fight. And while uniting, it should democrate in the sense that there should be no left outs between haves and have-nots, and all the facilities should be available to each and every person in a manner that they are able to feel the advantage of the technology. And in that regard, artificial intelligence has done a lot. If we look at our basic Digital India program, you would find digital literacy, device accessibility, and fostering of local innovations are very strong components of Digital India pillar. And these are reflected also in our implementation of AI. Particularly if you look at AI implementation in direct benefit transfer, which is powered by AI and Jam Trinity, which I'm sure somebody would have talked. which is Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile, we have been able to save at least 3.48 lakh crore rupees because of direct benefit transfer to the person who is requiring the beneficiary. This has permitted equitable access to resources via AI-driven platforms, which is indeed a great achievement for Government of India. Not just that, even you are aware of UPI, which is unified payment interface, which has provided equitable access to resources and has empowered 1.4 billion people of the country. So the whole idea of technologies in our country has been that we should not look into the differences in terms of demography or diversity, but we should try to put Digital India as a tool which is able to help everybody. It is not just everybody in terms of daily existence, but it is also everybody in terms of our communities like Kisan and citizens in terms of our children, etc. I'll give you another example. I mean, if on one hand UPI has saved us 18.3 billion transactions being done online, or JAN or DBT has saved us 3.48 lakh crores, it is also because of AI that we are able to provide back to communities like Kisan. So you have Kisan.ai, which is an amazing AI-driven platform and supported by a lot of
This is similar to that. Sir, మీరు అనుకోవచ్చు సార్ చెప్తాను మీకు చెప్తాను సార్ ఓన్లీ వన్ టైం అంటే మీరు తిన్న వెంటనే మన క్లాస్ చెప్పి మీకు ఇలా చెప్తే యూ షుడ్ బి కమ్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ద పర్టికులర్ డ్రౌజినెస్. సార్ మీకు చెప్తారు సార్. సార్ మీరు చెప్పేసాను సార్ ప్లీజ్. అది చూడగలరు చెప్పాను. మీకు నేను చెప్పింది ఏంటంటే 2-week capacity building program on One India through Digital One conducted by Ambedkar chair అని చెప్తే ఆయన లాస్ట్ వచ్చేసరికి see the drop of message.
Yes.
Okay, see the drop of message. సో ఇది మెయింటైన్ చేయడానికి ఈ మెసేజ్ ఏదైతే నేను మేడం చెప్పాను అక్కడి నుంచి ఈ మేడంకి, అక్కడి నుంచి ఈ సార్కి అది మెయింటైన్ అవ్వాలి, ఆ చైన్ మెయింటైన్ అవ్వాలి అంటే టుడే ద టెక్నాలజీ ఈజ్ బ్లాక్ చైన్ టెక్నాలజీ. వీ నీడ్ టు కన్వర్ట్, వీ నీడ్ టు చేంజ్. వితౌట్ చేంజ్ దేర్ ఇస్ నథింగ్. మీరు ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారు, ఇక్కడ వచ్చామంటే మన డిజిటల్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ కోసం వచ్చామండి. ఎందుకు ఇది ఇలా సరే అది లేకుండా ఇవాళ పాస్ అయ్యేది కదా సార్ ఇంటర్నెట్ అంటే సెక్యూరిటీ లేదు. సో వై వీ రిక్వైర్ బ్లాక్ చైన్ ఇస్ okay to convey the message from one network to another network securely with transparency. So even చెప్పే మెసేజ్ ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ చేస్తాను సార్. టెక్నాలజీస్ అన్నీ నేను చెప్తాను, కానీ ఎందుకు బ్లాక్ చైన్ అన్నది నేను చెప్తాను. అండ్ ఇక్కడ ఏమైంది, ఇట్ ఈస్ డీసెంట్రలైజ్డ్. ఒకరే చెప్పి అందరూ కాదండి, ఇట్ ఈస్ డీసెంట్రలైజ్డ్ and it has come and again encrypting it. Here we are encrypting it, here we are encrypting it, and we can get the original message as it is. So today the technology ఇవాళ రిలయన్స్ అని పెద్ద పెద్ద సంస్థలు ఎక్కడో కూర్చొని సింగిల్ క్లిక్తో ఇన్ని వ్యాపారాలు ఎలా చేస్తారండి, ఎలా చేస్తున్నారు? ఇవాళ మన పక్కనోనే మనం నమ్మం కదా, బట్ బయట ఎలా నమ్మకంగా చేస్తాం? దే రిక్వైర్ టెక్నాలజీ, దే ఆర్ యూజింగ్ టెక్నాలజీ. వాట్ టెక్నాలజీ? సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ద టెక్నాలజీస్. సో అవన్నీ మనం తెలుసుకోవాలండి. ఎలా తెలుసుకుంటామండి? ఇలాంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ వల్లే మనం తెలుసుకుంటాం. సో లెట్ us all థ్యాంక్ యూ.
వాళ్ళ చదువు సమాజానికి ఉపయోగపడలేదు, వాళ్ళకి ఉపయోగపడలేదు. ఎందుకంటే హస్బెండ్ బయటకు వెళ్తే పిల్లలు చూసుకొని బయట వాళ్ళకి చెప్తారు, మరి హస్బెండ్ ఏం చేస్తారు? దట్ ఇస్ మై క్వశ్చన్ యాక్చువల్లీ. నేను ఆర్టికల్ కూడా రాశాను. ఓకే, సో వాళ్ళకి ఎంపవర్మెంట్ కావాలని అంటున్నాము, అన్నీ చేస్తున్నాము, డిజిటల్ అంటున్నాము, అన్నీ అంటున్నాము, కానీ వాళ్ళకి ఫ్రీడమ్ లేదు. వాళ్ళ డెసిషన్ వాళ్ళు తీసుకోవడానికి లేదు. తీసుకుంటే ఏమంటారు? whatever maybe using some words, but కొంతమంది దాన్ని మిస్యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు, కానీ ఎక్కువ పర్సెంట్ సఫర్ అయ్యేది ఉన్నాయి కదా అన్ని బాధ్యతలు. రీసెంట్గా నా ఫ్రెండ్ అమెరికా నుంచి వచ్చారు. వచ్చినప్పుడు ఆమెను అడిగే క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే, మీరు పిల్లలు అక్కడ వదిలేసి వచ్చారు, వస్తే పిల్లలు ఎవరు చూస్తున్నారు అని అంటే చాలా మంది అడిగారండి ఆ క్వశ్చన్. మీరు పిల్లలు వదిలేసి వచ్చేసి పిల్లలు వదిలేసి వస్తే ఎందుకు మీరు పిల్లలు వదిలేసి వచ్చారు, ఎవరు చూస్తారు అని అంటే ఆమె నోటి నుంచి వచ్చే సమాధానం, నా హస్బెండ్ ఉన్నారు అన్నారు. అలా ఎంతమంది అంటారు? ఎంత పర్సెంటేజ్ ఉంది? దట్ ఈస్ మై
ఎంత జాగ్రత్తగా దాచిపెట్టారు. హైమా అన్నీ ఓపెన్ చేయబాకు. చదవగలవా? లేదురా నేను చదవలేదు. నాకేం సంస్కృతి వచ్చినా ఏం
ఏదో కొన్ని వచ్చింది ల్యాప్టాప్ పర్లేదు అర్థం
జాగ్రత్తగా పదిలిపరిచారు.
చదువు శిరీష్ అసలు రావట్లేదు అన్నాడు. చెప్పచ్చు కదా, కనబడుతుంది కదా బాబు. పోతుంది తిరిగి
తెలుగే కదా.
అలా ఫోటో తీయకూడదండి, ఫోటో తీస్తున్నారు.
భయపడుచు వచ్చిన విషయ మూలం లాగిన్ పాస్వర్డ్ అంటే డేటాబేస్ కోసం ఎవరు ఓపెన్ చేస్తున్నారు ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఎవ్రీబడి మీరంటే మీరు ఫోన్ నెంబర్ ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి ఇస్తే ఎవరు చేస్తున్నారు ఆ డేటాబేస్ ఎంత మంది చూస్తున్నారు ఇండివిజువల్లీ మెటాడేటా అంటే ఏంటి అంటే అసలు ఏ టైప్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ఏంటి, ఎన్ని ఆకులు ఉన్నాయి, ఎంత సైజ్ ఉంది, దాని కండిషన్ ఏంటి, ఒక లైన్స్ ఎన్ని ఉంటాయి, ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయి, మొత్తం అంతా డేటా అంతా వచ్చిందని మెటాడేటా అండి. దాన్ని బట్టి మనకి రిఫ్రెష్మెంట్ వస్తుంది మెటాడేటా. ఇప్పుడు మీకు తాళపత్రాన్ని ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది.
People of India having justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. మనం ఇటు కదా వెళ్ళాలి. తెలిసేమో లేకపోతే అడిగేవాడిగా తీసుకుపోతాను. వస్తున్నా.
And all the participants of this training program, I warmly welcome you all to the great innovation ecosystem. Many of Andhra people are not aware, such a world-class infrastructure has been built during the last 5-6 years. Basically, the objective of this ecosystem is to promote healthcare technologies, particularly medical devices. India imports around 90,000 crore. Director and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Sharma, when he was in the Ministry of Health at Delhi, he conceptualized this idea of establishing a medical technology park. So that were the roots. I think about 7-8 years back he conceptualized, convinced the governments, both at the center and the state, and Government of India and the Government of Andhra Pradesh gave 300 acres of land and 10,000 rupees to start this park. But today, the park has got incubation centers, centers of excellence, and manufacturing centers. Around 150 or 160 manufacturing units are being established by private sector here. And around 1,200 products, medical products are being manufactured. Medical products means starting from a mask during the COVID, ventilators, oxygen generators, RT-PCR kits, during the COVID time, RT-PCR kits for the entire 90% of the country's requirement was being supplied from here. The entire world was under lockdown, but this zone was working 24/7 to produce ventilators, oxygen concentrators, masks, RT-PCR kits to test the COVID cases. So it's a great legacy and history has been created by our chief and our leader here. The great visionary, unfortunately today is not here, otherwise we could have got his address also. Because you are all the teachers, you are the change agents. If you see whatever you are seeing here and whatever culture you are seeing here, if you are able to transmit to your students and other faculty members, that is how the change takes place. That's what Gandhi, Ambedkar, all they tried that concept, So we are the light, we are all the teachers are being a beacons. So we have the responsibility to ignite our students. So whatever good you are seeing, whatever developments you are seeing, whatever new strategies, innovative ideas you are seeing here, please pass on to your students so that at least few of them get ignited, sort of change can take place on this earth. So I warmly welcome you again. You will be taken to some of the important facilities. I think most of your social sciences, no? Yes. So James Stephen told me. So health is everybody's subject. Whether you are a engineer, doctor, lawyer, sociologist, whatever it is, health is everybody's concern. So here we manufacture a lot of equipments. Now today this cluster produces products and sells in the market worth around 11,000 crores. Wow. And 6,000 people are working in this zone. So that is the kind of a vision and the capacity to build such kind of ecosystem has come from our leadership, very inspiring leader. So, and built a wonderful culture over here. Here everybody thinks about work, nothing else. So there is no vision statement, there is no mission statement, there are no value statements mentioned here. Only single line objective, what we have specified to all of our employees here. We never say no to work. That is only the vision, that is only the mission for this organization.
Great.
So everybody works more than 225 hours every month. We are all being a faculty, we don't know the value of the time. Once our class is over, we thought our job is done, we are done 100%. But it is not like that. Whatever I missed in the government, I'm seeing it all the best practices here. You know, everybody is motivated, everybody is inspired to give their best to the nation. You might have seen a flag there, you know, big flag. What he says is, we are all working for the flag. Not you are not working for me, you are not working for you. So that is a kind of a pride is instilling in every employee of this organization. And most of our employees are very young here, and at the age of 30 years, most of them are CEOs here. We have about CEOs or the heads of the centers, we can call it. Most of them are under 35 years. So he has seen the potential of the youngsters, the energy, and with his vision and with his experience, he is driving this organization in a greater heights. That is why everybody, rather I think more than every flight which comes to Vizag, at least 10 people in that flight comes to AMTZ. So that is the kind of a, and I am also very fortunate and I feel very proud to be part of this ecosystem. Those whatever training I got, I am always grateful to my mother university, Andhra University. I am an alumni of Andhra University. I also got the opportunity to work in Andhra University as IPR chair professor. Some of you might be working with us when I was there. So opportunities comes in everybody's life. We should try to leverage that to the best of our ability and skills so that the benefits could be maximized, can be taken to more people. You know. So since I have seen this facility, the kind of ecosystem, the kind of values built over here, so when Professor James Stephen wrote to me saying that we are organizing this program, so I requested him to kindly include AMTZ also in the itinerary so that all of you can get an exposure to this facility and learn something new so that you can go with a good experience, you know.
Yes, sir.
I thank once again to Stephen Gauru for considering my request and bringing all of you there. See, the saying is believing, you know. See all the facilities and see how best you can integrate these systems and these technologies into the society and particularly the student community. So definitely you will be able to enjoy this. And after the visit is over, lunch is also being arranged in our canteen. This is, I say, you name anything, any facility is required, our chief, we call him as a chief here, he takes care of that and they will establish. You will find ice cream, you know, seller here. He goes to every building and sells his ice creams. And every Friday, he arranges a walkathon. All the employees of the organization will start at 5 o'clock, walk for 1 hour. And every day, 6:15, we do wellness activity, you know. Wellness activity means people who are in the respective building, they all assemble there, they do some aerobics, they do some yoga, they do some physical exercise, you know. That is also very, very important. So these are some of the things which we will not be able to see elsewhere, but here that kind of a employees welfare is also, it considers very, very important to get best out of them. So very proactive. So that is one of the leadership, you know. One need not be a leader, but at least all these good practices at your capacity as a teacher, if you are able to implement and demonstrate and show it to our students, definitely they will all will be benefited out of our experiences. Okay. So Naresh. So if you have after visiting the facilities,
Sir, please there.
ready, huh? Right.
Yes, sir, ready, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Naresh is our training head. He has been in this field for the last 7 years. You know, he has trained more than. We also have, I think, training programs. What do we offer? You please say.
Sure, sir. I will share.
Yeah.
One small change.
Already.
Please.
We'll move on.
Please.
The Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship accredits IBSc programs. IBSc has partnerships with more than 110 universities and colleges across India. We are happy to share that till date, over 10,000 plus students visited AMTZ as part of the industrial visit. Students from various disciplines such as IT, diploma, engineering, pharma, management and medical sciences have visited AMTZ. The site visit program includes an orientation session followed by visits to industrial and scientific facilities pertinent to their fields of study. This session
ఇటు తిరుగు.
కాదు ఇక్కడ
సో ఇది ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ గ్రీన్ కలర్ వస్తే స్టార్ట్ రెడీ టు యూస్. ఓకే, ఈ లోపల ఇక్కడ సెన్సార్ ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, ఇది ఈఎంజీ సెన్సార్, ఎలక్ట్రోమాగ్నెటిక్. దానికి మజిల్ మూమెంట్ ఇస్తున్నప్పుడు ఇది ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే, ఇది మనం ఇక్కడ 1 టైం మూవ్ చేస్తే, డబుల్ టైం మూవ్ చేస్తే నెక్స్ట్ మోడ్కి మారడం. అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇలా ఉన్న వచ్చేసారా మన హ్యాండ్, ఇందులో మనకి బైసెప్ మజిల్ అని 2 ఉంటాయి. ఇక్కడ మనం ఇది ఉంది అనుకో, ఇలా 2 టైమ్స్ మూవ్మెంట్ ఇచ్చామనుకో, ఈవెన్ హ్యాండ్ లూజ్ అయినా సరే ఇలా మూవ్మెంట్ ఇస్తే అది క్యాప్చర్ చేసి ఇది వర్క్ అవుతుంది. ఆర్ఎల్స్ ఇలా గట్టిగా హోల్డ్ చేసేది, ఇలా ఉందా చెయ్య, ఇలా క్లోజ్ అవుతుంది. మీరు ఎప్పుడు ఇలా బిగించడం ఆపేస్తారు, ఎండని హోల్డ్ చేయడం అవుతుంది. సో అప్పుడు ఇలా షేక్ హ్యాండ్ ఇచ్చి, ఇలా పెట్టి ఇలా షేక్ హ్యాండ్ ఇచ్చి మనం చేయొచ్చు. సో ఇదంతా కూడా అలా ఇది ఇలా స్ట్రైట్గా ఉండాలన్నప్పుడు ఇలాగా. ఓకే, సో ఇదంతా బయానిక్ హ్యాండ్. సో ఇందులో ఒక 18 ప్యాటర్న్స్ లేదు. ఇది ఒక రోజు ఛార్జింగ్ పెట్టుకుంటే ఒక 2-3 డేస్, లైక్ మొబైల్ ఛార్జ్ చేసుకొని ఎలా యూస్ చేసుకుంటాం, ఇది ఛార్జ్ చేసుకొని యూస్ చేసుకుంటాం.
ఫింగర్ మూమెంట్స్
బయటకు అది క్యాలిక్యులేట్ అవుతుంది. సో
ఒకసారి లేకండి, హ్యాండ్ షేక్ ఇవ్వండి చూద్దాం.
లేదు,
అవుదా
అంటే పర్సన్ వేసుకున్న
మూవింగ్
అంటే
సెన్సార్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా,
సెన్సార్కి మనం మూమెంట్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు
ఓకే లోనా
మనం లోపల, ఇది మన హ్యాండ్ ఉంది కాబట్టి మనం లోపల హ్యాండ్ పెట్టాలి.
అంతవరకు